Welcome to my channel Daily Bulletin News. Johnny makes a decision after directing Chanel and Alex's love scene, and Julie disapproves of who Chad brings home. Gabby doles out errands for Javi to run for her as they lunch in the square. Javi gets distracted by a text from Leo, who asks for Javi's best Spanish pickup line that he can use in a script. On his laptop outside the pub, Leo can't wait for Javi to stop typing and erasing his reply. He puts down his phone and marvels at the edgy and hilarious dialogue he's writing. Leo stops Joy as she exits the pub and introduces himself as her head writer on Body and Soul. She recognizes him as the guy who destroyed her parents' marriage. On the hospital set, Johnny somberly remembers Joy returning his wedding band that he left in her hotel room. Alex arrives. "Are you ready for me to sleep with your wife?" he glibly asks. Johnny knows he's referring to their characters, but can't Alex see that it's triggering? Especially after the way Johnny reacted at his birthday party. Alex points out it didn't go much better for him and Stephanie, but he needs reassurance that it won't be World War III with them all working together. Johnny promises and apologizes if his outburst at his party screwed things up for him and Stephanie. Chanel arrives as Johnny adds that he's especially sorry for what he did to his wife. EJ brings Kat to Chad in the interrogation room and tells her he's dropping the charges. However, he's disgusted by what she did to Chad and to Abigail's family. He uncuffs her and leaves Chad to explain why she's been freed. Alone, Chad makes clear he'd rather see Kat rot in prison for the rest of her life, but he can't because Clyde escaped prison. If he wants to know what happened to Abigail, then he needs to hand Kat over to him. "You hate me that much?" she marvels. Part of him wants to let Clyde do his dirty work, but he won't hand her over to her death. Julie descends the stairs in her home with a food tray. She calls up to Doug and says that she'll bring him a second bowl of chicken soup, noting there's nothing wrong with his appetite. She answers the door to JJ and excitedly jumps in his arms. As they discuss what happened in Paris, Julie exudes confidence that Kat will be in jail for a very long time. In the square, Javi tells Gabby he's grateful for the job she gave him, but he doesn't want to just be an errand boy. As she gives him office tasks as well, he responds to Leo's text with, "Disculpame, pero creo que me debes un trago." He grins and winks at Gabby. She gives him her divorce papers to deliver to the courthouse. She acts cavalier about it, but he knows this isn't what she wanted. As he leaves, EJ approaches Gabby. As he expresses confusion over Joy's statement, Leo gets Javi's text. He flashes a coy smile and then asks who Joy's parents are. She tells him she's Craig and Nancy Wesley's daughter. Leo is very sorry for what he did. He has a good heart and didn't set out to be a homewrecker. Joy can't judge because lately she's been a homewrecker herself. On the B&S set, Chanel admits to Alex and Johnny that she's having a hard time with the love scene, but she will power through it. She knows the men will do the same because it's all just make-believe. The men stiffly agree. Later, as Johnny watches Alex and Chanel's kissing scene, he flashes to eagerly kissing Joy in her Salem Inn room. At the Horton house, Julie tells JJ that Doug isn't doing great because he really believed that Abigail was alive, and now, he has a bad cold. But he'll be up and around in no time. They marvel over him being 98. Julie believes every day he's with them is a blessing. She asks if there's a special person in JJ's life. JJ admits there's not. Julie's sure there'll be a lovely lady coming along very soon. In the square, EJ and Gabby bicker over whose fault it was that they slept together. When he points out she came to him, she accuses him of knowing she wasn't in her right mind. "Serious question," he says. "When are you in your right mind?" She calls him a son of a bitch and shouts that he should have stopped it. EJ smugly concedes that he relished seeing Stefan in anguish over their tryst and that he twisted the knife, leading Stefan to file for divorce. After all the miserable things they did to him, he loved seeing Stefan cuckolded as much as he loved seeing Gabby heartbroken. She slaps him, nearly knocking him off his feet. Outside the pub, Leo pleads with a resistant Joy to spill whose home she wrecked. Javi walks up and Joy heads to set, much to Leo's dismay. When Javi asks about the vibe he was picking up, Leo admits he slept with Joy's father, thereby destroying her parents' marriage. Borderline impressed, Javi calls him a bad boy. Leo counters he's more of a homewrecker, and so is Joy, but she left before giving him more details. They banter before Javi says he has to deliver Gabby's divorce papers. They flirtatiously agree to get together later. After Alex and Chanel's sex scene at the hospital, Johnny and Chanel awkwardly agree it wasn't so bad. Johnny is fine with what Chanel just did, but he's not fine with what he did. He promises to make it up to her. After Julie insists JJ stay at the house instead of the Salem Inn, she expresses her hope that he'll stay a while. We'll see, he says. At the station, Chad explains to Kat he'll use her as bait. He'll do his best to protect her, but there are no guarantees. She agrees to do whatever he needs. She owes him and it could lead her to her mother. When she broaches the subject of freeing her brother, Chad curtly reminds her that Mark tried to shoot him. She understands but wonders if he'll be able to handle working with her. Chad will do whatever it takes to get his wife back. When Joy finds Johnny alone on set, he expresses regret over what they did. I have to tell my wife the truth. Chad comes home to Julie, who tells him JJ is staying with them. She also raves over never having to set eyes on that conniving succubus again. Kat walks in, and Julie glares at Chad. In the square, EJ grabs Gabby's arm, preventing a second slap. JJ walks up. Get your hands off her, he yells. Now, stay tuned and subscribe the channel.